All right, everybody, welcome to the Mangalorian. We were supposed to start this an hour ago, but there was some difficulties with weather issues and whatnot with Jordan, and I've got my own weather issues right here outside. So if the feed cuts out, we'll come right back as fast as possible. I hope that you guys are doing okay, and I am glad to see you here. We did get a super chat earlier today, and
Bro,
we're gonna. What's up?
did Shannon Elizabeth just comment that she can't wait to watch this, bro? That's
That's
insane.
not that's somebody from the Discord with an alt, bro. Find out who it is for me.
I will.
Yeah, find out who it is. Unless it's you,
It
because
ain't
you're the one
me.
who pointed it out.
It ain't me.
Okay. Uh yeah, I saw it and I tried to ignore it. Anyways, so today we're gonna pick up. We're at volume 6 of the Dragon Ball manga. We're gonna pick up with chapter 68. This is Goku going to West City to visit Bulma for the first time. But before we get to that, I wanted to throw up this super chat. Very generous super chat. I felt real bad an hour ago because he left the super chat, this guy, and I thought we weren't gonna do the stream because I wasn't sure what was gonna happen. And when you leave a generous super chat like that, I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you, but let's go ahead and discuss this because this is a good opening topic. It's not one we usually talk about here, but we'll go through it. Sleep says, been rewatching DB lately, currently on the King Piccolo arc, which to be honest, might be my favorite arc of all time. You and I talked about that last week, actually, because that is your favorite time period. It says, can't wait to finish it all again. Also, do you think there could be a Dragon Ball Daima movie? Because so far, every series has at least one movie. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, because you took the headphones off and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I just switched off of them. I think Daima probably started off conceptually as a movie, and then
I think so too, actually.
I think they probably decided that it was better off as a web series, and that's what happened. Like, I think it was just so much content, very similar to the Broly movie. You know, like the Broly movie was originally supposed to be 3 hours long.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be 3 hours. He wrote enough material for a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. And I think it's a similar thing here. I think that they just wrote enough content that they could do a web series, and that they would rather do that than a film. So
right. Yeah, I mean, but if the question is, could there be a Dragon Ball Daima movie? Yes, there could be a Dragon Ball Daima movie. Will there be? That's a question that nobody can answer because there's two trains of thought on this. One is Daima's going to be a shorter anime. Like, it's not going to be like 150 episodes like Dragon Ball original was, or like 130 like Super, give or take. It could be 70, it could be 50. Nobody really knows. But excuse me. They could, what I always thought was a good idea is doing kind of what Cobra Kai is teasing, which is you have the show and then you have the finale be a movie. You build up to a cliffhanger at the end of the show, then everyone goes to the movie theater to see the movie. The problem with doing that with Dragon Ball is that because Daima's going to be airing in delay for other countries, kind of like what happened here with Super, Broly was dubbed in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie was dubbed and released in America before the anime had finished being dubbed. So that caused problems because in the Broly movie, Goku is referencing events from the Tournament of Power that hadn't even aired yet, hadn't even come out yet dubbed. So that's an issue that anime has had for a long time, but it's also an issue that's very easily fixed. All Toei has to do is, I don't know, maybe come into the 21st century finally and work with distribution partners and make sure the dubs are going to get done with these people on these days, released here, and then they can all wait until the big Daima finale. That would be lovely. It's just, again, unfortunately, being a Dragon Ball fan is like being a fan of Dragon Quest. You're lucky to get anything at this point. And that's why I find it strange, Jordan, that I understand. Look, I understand if people have an issue with if people don't like what the premise could be of Daima, that's never been a problem for me. The issue is the people that are shitting on it without seeing a single episode. that pisses me off because how can you call yourself a Dragon Ball fan and not be excited for something new when you don't know what it's going to be? It's one
Yeah.
if like for example, when Broly was coming out or Superhero, which there were people like this shitting on it before it comes out. What if it's good? And both those movies, I think, obviously some folks prefer Broly and some prefer Superhero, but they were both liked. They were
Yeah.
well liked.
Yeah, and I think that Daima has the potential lore wise to be something very, very, very special because they did say that they wanted you to watch it and appreciate that as like Goku's essentially like his new backstory, which to me like sort of tells you that they have something planned in that department, something to like basically explain Goku's character to the modern era, which makes sense because there's a lot of new fans who haven't seen OGDB, part of the reason we're doing this series. And so, like, it would make sense that there probably is going to be quite a few lore dumps in Daima. And if you're into lore, I definitely think that Daima is something you should be excited for. But if you're not into lore and you just want like high stakes action and stuff like that, I still think that you should get excited for it because based on what I've seen, the animation looks great. There may not be like everybody turning Super Saiyan and moving at the speed of light and stuff like that, but just the shots that I've seen Goku using the Nyoibo have been awesome. Like it looks great.
Well, it's also to me. Hold on. Oh, there we go. I thought the screen went away for a minute. To me, it's just if you're a fan of, let's take Dragon Ball out of the equation for a minute. Let's say you're a fan of, let's not use Star Wars because that's this is not the right time for that. But let's say that you're a fan of One Piece. I'm just gonna say One Piece, and there's a new movie coming out. Why would you say, "Ugh, I don't want to see that," or "Ugh, I didn't want that"? You're getting something new, and now with Dragon Ball, we're all gifted something new, and it's we wanted Moro, and again, like we talked about a million times, these same people took a dump on Moro when it was coming out, and now they want Moro. I actually liked a lot of the Moro arc. I thought the ending was weaker. I did a long review with Unrelent, Emish, and Opie talking about how much we love the early part of the arc. It's got problems. But could Toei take those ideas and make them better? Yeah, but what if they make them worse? Look at Resurrection F.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much faith in Toei in that department, but all right, let's get straight into the manga. So Goku heads to the Western City so that Bulma can fix the dragon radar. Will he make it to her house safely? Now,
Right.
I do like this scene right here because it's like Goku's first like interaction with society, like actual society, like a big city and
a civilized city.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like Goku coming in and seeing all this stuff for the first time. But also here in a few minutes you get to meet Bulma's parents for the first time, which is awesome. And they're quite the characters.
Well, and one thing I'll say about this whole these panels here, this is one of those examples where Dragon Ball full colored editions really do pop. Because look at all how colorful it looks. It just looks very bustling. It looks like they make West City look exciting. And I've always thought I loved how the anime did it. The anime really made West City. Remember, in the anime, we had extra stuff like the amusement park episode. Like there was extra stuff that we got to see more of the city. And you're right, it is world building. It's definitely, and Toriyama is and always has been great at world building. Moving on here, Goku's just trying to figure everything out. These cars, these people, trying to find Bulma. And then here in the lower right of your screen, we have the return of the infamous Bruce Lee. What is the character? The character has like a name. I think it's like called like...
I can't remember, but yeah, he did have a name.
It's like a name in one of the guidebooks a long time ago.
Yeah, and they don't really show the actual scene that plays out in the same way they do in the anime, but like Goku rocks him in the anime. Like you don't really get to see it because this is a manga, but in the anime, like he destroys Bruce Lee.
He destroys him here too.
Yeah, I know, but you really get to see it. You really get to see like just how humiliated he is in the anime in comparison to the manga. But it is still good.
Yeah, right there on the screen, I took a shot of some of the shots of Goku hitting with this Bruce Lee. Basically, what's going on is he's one of those guys who's taking on all comers in the streets, and he wants to see who can challenge him, and Goku steps up because he's the consummate martial artist. The thing is, now I want to talk about this scene for a minute because Bruce Lee is being portrayed in a comedic fashion. Now, there's a lot of people who do not like the way that Bruce Lee was portrayed in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This right here is very, very similar.
It
in
is,
that
yeah.
Bruce Lee, he even behaves like that version of Bruce Lee. He's basically, Toriyama loves Bruce Lee, and a lot of Bruce Lee's principles and a lot of Bruce Lee's movies are totally responsible for what Dragon Ball would be. But I don't think a creator like Toriyama creating his own version of Bruce Lee, purposely making him funnier with the funny faces he has and whatnot, that seems like more of a tribute to me. Toriyama does not seem like the kind of guy who would do this mean-spiritedly.
No, it's comedy. I think even if Bruce Lee himself read this, he would read this lightheartedly and he wouldn't take offense to this, because this is literally just like, it's literally like you could see Bruce Lee doing this in an actual Bruce Lee film, or not a Bruce Lee film, but like you could see him like doing this in a film where he was like an extra who was like challenging people to martial arts. This is totally something he would do. Like, he doesn't always have to be the hero or the guy that like wins in a fight. Like he's always been more than willing to play these types of roles in films and stuff too. So I don't see any reason to get offended over it.
No, me neither. I want to highlight this comment by Yash. He says, the mechanism of the city's inner workings is quite ahead of its time, as well as you look at the landscape's infrastructure. That's for sure. Also, if you ever actually go to Tokyo, if you ever have the pleasure of going to Tokyo in your life, which I've said this in multiple streams, including the one I just did on Saturday on Twitch, everybody who's a fan of anything Japanese culture, Dragon Ball, video games, usually most of y'all are fans of a lot of these types of things. In fact, there's people in the chat right now who have read way more manga than I have read. Like I'm not somebody who just reads manga all day. I have a lot of different things I have going on, including even American comic books. But you owe it to yourself. And I know it's expensive, and I'm not saying you can do it tomorrow, but you owe it to yourself to take a trip to Tokyo in Japan so you can see that city, just that city, my friend, is technologically more advanced than what we have here. Obviously, America and what's going on now with NVIDIA and AI, it's not like they're too far behind, but there are parts of Tokyo that look like this, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Realistic. Moving on here, we have this pig who is not Oolong and another side adventure with him, and then we have Goku trying to meet the cop, which this was all covered in the anime as well, with the idea being that he has no idea what Bulma's address is. Bulma never gave him details on how to find her. He knows that she's from that town, but Bulma never ever gave Goku, any he doesn't even know how, he wouldn't even know what an address is, you know?
No. And I don't know why, but for some reason this scene, like this part of Dragon Ball, really sticks out to be an anime form. I don't know what it is. Maybe I watched
the
it
colors, maybe.
But like I remember very, very vividly this episode. Maybe I just watched it quite a few times, but it always stuck out. It always stood out to me whenever Goku first showed up in the city, and I guess a lot of it's just like it's the first time you get to see Capsule Corporation. It's the first time you really get to see like West City and stuff like that. So it really is kind of like iconic in that way.
And we would see a lot more of West City in the Z era. We see it a little bit of it in every arc, but we really see it a lot of it in the Buu saga, because here's something that I find interesting that we haven't really discussed ever before. Did you notice, and I'm talking to not just you, Jordan, but everybody in the chat, have you ever noticed that the first time in the entire series where an actual serious fight takes place in West City, it's Goku versus Majin Buu when he first does Super Saiyan 3. It took them that long to have a fight at the tops of West City. Prior to that, we never saw one.
Yeah, and Toriyama's expanded on that. He always tried to move the fights away from the city because he didn't want to have to draw a
The
destroyed
details.
city. Yeah, he didn't want to have to draw it.
The backgrounds. Yeah.
Yeah, and even when they do fight over West City, they're fighting over West City. They're not fighting in the city itself. So
Right. Yeah, but remember, there's a couple of parts in the fight where you see key blasts hitting parts of the city. People were dying. There was collateral damage for sure. Yeah. Chapter 69, Bulma and Son Goku Part 2, because that's the name of the first chapter, Bulma and Son Goku. Here we have Goku holding on to Bulma from behind, holding on to her ponytail, which I can tell you that's something I have done at least once in my life, and we'll just leave it at that. Maybe not in the way Goku did it, but it is what it is. How about Gohan versus the androids in the future? Was that West City though? Because it was in a city, but I don't remember if it was specified as being West City.
Well, I know in the Black Arc it's West City because you see like the remains of like Capsule Corporation and stuff like that. So I would assume that during the Android arc, it's probably West City too. I would assume, but they do.
So I guess if you count the future timeline, then that would probably be the first time. Yeah.
But also in the Future Trunks film, they don't just attack West City. Yeah, in the special, they don't just attack West City. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they announce a specific city that they're attacking in that film that's not West City at the very beginning of the film. But I definitely do think that like in the manga, at the very least, they're attacking West City.
So. Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of cities in Dragon Ball. There's a misnomer that I think people think that there's only 4 cities in Dragon Ball, and that's not exactly true. There's only 4 giant cities in Dragon Ball. There's 4 metropolis-sized cities in Dragon Ball: East City, North City, South City, and West City. Or you can call them the Eastern Capital, Western Capital, whatever, right? You can call them whatever you want, or West Metro. There's a lot, but there's a lot of little cities all around the world and little islands and things like that. So,
yeah, Beerus, the fight with Beerus did happen in West City too. That's true.
Yeah, but that was later. but that was after the Buu saga. I'm saying the first
I was just responding to Nick. Yeah, he was just pointing it out.
Yeah, he's right. Well, I mean, later on, there were more things that happened in West City. Like, for example, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Goku fought Trunks in the Trunks arc, when Trunks woke up and he tested himself against Goku, was that also in West City?
Yeah, it was right behind Capsule Corporation because he showed up at Capsule Corporation in the time machine, and then they dragged him out and like laid him on this like pavilion like thing. So yeah,
this is a great question. I'm gonna highlight it here from Piano Man 91. He says, "Is Bulma the smartest character in the entire series?" That's a very, very, very difficult question to answer because when you're talking about, she's definitely one of the smartest because she invented time travel, or she discovered time travel. However, her dad invented capsules. However, Dr. Gero created artificial humans that were stronger than like nuclear power. However, Toa from Dragon Ball Heroes, if you want to count the Heroes universe, she's a brilliant scientist, literally. So
also Senbei
Norimaki, well, that's its love character. But yeah, so the question is, who is the smartest of them all? I don't know, man.
And now you've got Hedo.
Yeah, you do. You're right.
Yeah, there's a lot of really smart characters in Dragon Ball. I think that's cool though. Like, you know, there's either like super strong characters or like super smart characters.
But, okay, cool. Well then if we're being real, wouldn't the smartest character be Zuno since he has knowledge of everything?
Yeah, I think he would probably be the most knowledgeable. I don't know if he could actually use that knowledge to build things or whatever, but I mean, he'd definitely be the most knowledgeable.
That's true. It's a good discussion to have because I've always felt like having the smart characters in Dragon Ball are oftentimes overlooked over the strong characters. It's obviously, I don't know who's calling me at 5:30 in the afternoon. Oh, I know who it is. I can't answer the phone. It's a friend of mine. I'm gonna text them real quick and let them know I'm live. Hold on.
Okay.
That is my house phone ringing, yo.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brother Ship though. I think figuring out time travel does kind of trump everything else.
No, that's why I highlighted it. It's not even because he's like wrong. It's because that's a big feat. That is a big feat, yeah. And again, but Toa brought people back from the dead. Like there's a lot. So getting back to the show, I love Bulma being this rebellious like girl, very similar to some other characters Toriyama wrote in the past. And like Bulma, I've always felt as an underrated character in this part of the series because she is the counterpart to Goku. Now, this part of the series is total world building. Bulma met Goku, has been to his house. Now Goku's going to Bulma's house. Fish out of water story, East meets West. Here we have the awesome scene where he goes inside of Capsule Corp, and the inside of Capsule Corp is like a miniature Jurassic Park where her father's experimenting with using fossils and whatnot to bring back the dinosaurs. You know, there's a theory. Remember how in Super they said that Beerus destroyed the dinosaurs? There's a theory that the dinosaurs were destroyed, but that Dr. Brief is the one who, throughout the years, has been bringing them back, which is why Gohan fights the dinosaur.
I like that theory. There's also
I do too because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, there's also another theory that Arale brought the dinosaurs back when she used the time slipper.
There was time travel.
Yeah. Huh. That's cool.
Well, but remember with Arale, and we're going to talk more about this when we get to that part of the series, which is I think that's the next week we're going to be covering there. The next time we do one of these is the Arale thing, because today we're going to introduce Blue, but Penguin Village is not in the world of Dragon Ball. It's in Japan, unless it's an alternate version of Penguin Village. Dr. Slump takes place in the real world, and it's like a fictional version of the real world. Whereas the Dragon Ball world, the map, the Earth in Dragon Ball is not the same.
Yeah, which is so weird because Penguin Village just randomly becomes a part of the Dragon Ball world. Like, it's just so weird.
Yeah, there's theories behind it. We'll get there when we get there. Sleep says, and Sleep, I answered your question from earlier in the stream. So just rewind the stream. We did answer. That was the first thing we talked about is the potential for a Daima movie. So you did get your question answered. He goes on to ask, I don't know if this counts, but Goku and Beerus had a couple matches in West City and once in Battle of the Gods. Yeah, we talked about that. You must have just got back, bro. We talked about that a few minutes ago because the Majin Buu fight was the first one in West City that besides the future timeline, and then the Beerus fight is the second one, unless there's something that happened that we don't know about, off screen, because Toriyama, before he passed away, would bring up little events that we didn't even know happened. So because in many ways, let's say the Hirudegarn movies in the manga, that was in West City, I think.
Yeah.
So that's another battle in West City. So, I mean, but in the manga, in the original purist manga, the first battle was the Majin Buu battle.
Right.
Not including the future timeline. So, but yes, those fights were discussed. I always wanted Dragon Ball to do more fights in the cities, man. As I was a kid, especially after seeing the Hirudegarn movie where they fight him at nighttime. I love that.
Yeah.
There's something about anime, and it's not just Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Yu Yu Hakusho, Street Fighter 2V. There's something about 90s anime when they did fights at night in cities that just looked awesome. With the lights of the city giving you that's just an awesome look.
That whole movie looks awesome. I remember the scene where Vegeta gets knocked into the building and there's people around him to react to him being knocked into the building. That's another really cool thing about them fighting in the city is that they have people there to react to everything that's happening. And that's also not very common in Dragon Ball.
And he puts up that barrier to protect them before he passes out. Do you think the first Dragon Ball Z Budokai? I like how he spelled Budokai like the Buddha, like in Buddhism. I know it was a typo, but that's actually pretty clever. A better dub than the original Dragon Ball Z. It's the same thing. It's the same people. I can't say better. It's the same. I would say it's the same. So moving on here, Goku is there in order to get the Dragon Radar repaired. Then we cut back to Red Ribbon Army. At this point, Commander Red and Black have learned about who the boy is and him going to West City. Now they have a target. Also, if we look here in the lower right-hand corner, yes, folks, take a real good look there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. I can. Let's take a real good look, folks. That's right. Bulma has not only the speeder bike from Star Wars 1977, but what is that? that looks just like an R2 unit, bro. That's Toriyama putting his little sci-fi love into the movie, into the book.
Yeah, I just posted on today on Twitter an image of little Piccolo from the original Dragon Ball filler, where they do like a little piece of filler where he's fighting people that look like they're from the Empire. So it's like he looks like Yoda as a kid, but they have him fighting people that like look like the Empire. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Like,
I took a screenshot for later.
There's so much Star Wars in Dragon Ball. It's wild.
Right, and if you look back there, that yellow ship, that's basically the same ship that they have in Star Wars that twists up like this when it takes off. You see it in the original trilogy. The Emperor is in one of those ships. It's like a transport. Vader has one like that. So I always found that to be cool. Why does Commander Red have white hair in the manga? Because they chose to give him that colored hair. I can't answer about the colors because I don't know what the idea was behind it. I'm guessing it's to make it more realistic as an older man, like a Bond villain. He looks more like a Bond villain in the manga, but I prefer the red hair. Yeah. Now, here we're introduced to Bulma's mom, who is referred to. Toriyama never called her Panty. He said if he were to name her something, that would be her name. This whole scene of her putting her, what were you doing under Mama's foot? Like, you're the one who almost stepped on me. Like, I like that. That's slump humor to a degree. But what do you think about the character of Bulma's mom?
So the thing that always stood out to me about Dr. Briefs and Bulma's mom is the fact that when they meet Goku and Bulma, they immediately assume that Goku is like her love interest, which I think is very interesting. But also, they both seem to suggest that they're swingers.
Where do you see that? Because I never picked up on that.
Because
Bulma shrank herself, by the way, which is going to lead to a
when they find out what they're going to do, Dr. Briefs is like, well, maybe you can bring me back like a beautiful, like attractive woman, and also Bulma's mom is like, maybe you can bring me back like a handsome man or something like that.
I thought they were just talking trash to each other to piss each other off. Like in Married with Children.
I don't think so. As a matter of fact, later on in the series, whenever Bulma's mom sees Goku for the first time growing up, she straight up hits on him.
Yes, she does.
I just think they're kind of freaks, bro. Like, honestly,
I think you have a point.
Yeah.
So
that's what's always stood out to me about their characters. I can't really see it other than the fact that Dr. Briefs is a genius. I can't really see anything else about their characters that's like super ridiculously unique. It's just I do really like Dr. Briefs though. Like, I like him as a character. I like that he walks around with the cat on his shoulder.
And he looks like a real Japanese man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He looks, and he has that eccentric feel to his character where he's like an eccentric rich guy who has a bunch of wild stuff on his property.
Davion Johnson said you should do a video on all the Easter eggs throughout Dragon Ball, and that way there's thousands. Okay, so you basically want me to do a video that's 37 hours long. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, bro. Whenever I have enough time to edit a 37-hour video, bro, maybe then I'll do every Easter egg in Dragon Ball history video, bro. Didn't she also try to flirt with Gohan? Did Bulma's mom flirt with Gohan? Maybe briefly.
I know she flirted with Vegeta a few times in the anime, but I don't know about.
Yes. Well, Bulma flirted with Gohan, but that was in abridged.
Yeah.
I'm only bringing it up because people sometimes get it mixed up. So before we move on, because we might not talk about her again, what do you think about the theory that Bulma's mom is an android? I did not ever hear that until I got on the internet.
I think it's a very interesting theory. I don't think she is an android, but I wouldn't be shocked if she had some sort of benefit from dating Dr. Briefs in terms of like scientific breakthroughs and stuff like that, which I think is ironic because, and this is something I find very interesting that people don't talk about very much, but Bulma's mother never ages, and Bulma is literally struggling to like not age like all the time. She's using the Dragon Balls for it. She's trying to get Dr. Hedo to give her cosmetics for it, and yet look at her mom. Her mom looks fine. It's just, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah, so I think that led some fans into thinking, how can she be that old as a grandma and look that young? But again, you have to also remember that in this fictional world of Dragon Ball, when you have that much money, I mean, let's just say it, bro. When you have a lot of money, the reason why rich people end up looking younger than they actually are is because they can afford all the best food, all the best personal trainers, all the best doctors. For all we know, she may have had a lot of work done, like you said.
Yeah.
You should do a video on why Dragon Ball Z wasn't supposed to sound like it did in the States in 99 to 2003. I don't even know what you're talking about with that. So I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, it's a weird theory that, again, only exists on the internet. So in the anime version of these events, like here, Goku already left. So the little adventure in the city is already over, but he's got shrinking Bulma inside of his shirt, which the whole thing shrunk Bulma is that would, of course, lead to that awesome gag with Master Roshi. Toriyama built up this gag chapters ahead of time and delivered it, yo. People always talk about how great he is at, like, delaying gratification, making you wait for that big hero moment, which he does all throughout the Z portion. Here, he's doing it with jokes.
No, Bruce Lee had a serious sense of humor, bro. I don't know.
You mean Toriyama?
No, Heaven Brothers. I was responding to him.
I thought you were talking. Okay, I didn't even see him say that to you.
But as far as this whole thing goes, what I think is cool about the whole like Bulma and the shirt thing is this is actually a repeated thing that Toriyama did from the one shot Chobit. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but it's essentially about a genie, like a genie alien type thing. This alien comes down from Earth and shrinks down and like lives with this cop, and he like keeps her in his shirt, just like Bulma. But anyway, check it out. It's a one shot by Toriyama. It's called Chobit. It was very obviously inspired by shows like My Name is Genie and
I Dream of Genie.
Yeah, I Dream of Genie, and then like Bewitched and shows like that from that era. So if you're interested, please definitely go check that out because it's a cool little one shot. But he's definitely repeating that from his one shot from back in the day.
Yes, JD Ultra, it is true. Roman Reigns' dad did die. Yes, very saddened to hear that. That guy was a legend. Chapter 70, Bulma's big mistake. First of all, got to put over the cover art. Anytime you have like a character over the top of background panels, I always love that look. It's such a classic comic book type of look. And we have Goku. We have parts of the army, including, of course, Commander or General Blue, who would, of course, be the upcoming next big villain for this arc. Let me get to Xavier's question. He says, maybe Bulma ages more compared to her mother because there's more stress in her life and she smokes later in life. Yeah, I mean, stress and smoking will make you look older, especially if you're light-skinned. So
true that. That's a good observation.
I mean, and I actually I hated the fact that Bulma smoked in the Buu saga, but then when I grew up, because I don't like women that smoke, bro.
Yeah, I'm like you.
I don't like cigarettes either, but also in Japan, dude, a lot of people smoke. That's the one thing about Japan that I do not like is that it does tend to smell like cigarettes. However, there's something about the way they make cigarettes in Japan. I'm not going to say it's healthier. I mean, it might be. And yes, Douglas is right. Please leave a like if you're stopping by. But what do you call it? In Japan, they make their cigarettes different than they do here.
I could see that.
Yeah. So here we have Commander Blue or General Blue just kind of being a prick to his subordinates. Now, if you're wondering about the history of General Blue, I've talked about this already. You need to watch my history of the Red Ribbon Army video. I put it out. It's about 30 minutes. I put it out late 2022-ish. And you definitely need to watch that video because General Blue is based off of a real Nazi like general or a real Nazi military officer. Like he's a real guy. Like the way he looks, I mean, the fact that he's gay, like, Toriyama, this part of the manga starts to get really controversial because we have Toriyama using all of the gay stereotypes. I'm not going to talk about it yet. We're going to, as we go deeper in, we'll talk more about it, but we'll of course get there when we get there. So Goku and Bulma on the island. At this point, when I'm reading Dragon Ball, there's two things I'm noticing. First of all, look at the beautiful background right here on the right side of your screen. Look at that awesome background, like with the trees and like the water. It's gorgeous. And I just like being with these characters. What Toriyama, I think, did very well. This is why slice of life Dragon Ball episodes work, is when you watch or read this series, you like hanging out with the characters.
Yeah, Bulma and Goku are both very enjoyable characters to be around, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and they're enjoyable not because they're necessarily great people. Goku's great. They're enjoyable because they're,
as characters, yeah.
By the way, Jordan, there's a little thing. I can't show that panel anymore because there was something there in the lower left. I guess we didn't look for censoring. Yeah. Remember, we're supposed to censor that, so I'll just move on.
Yeah.
Goku swimming naked here. We aren't going to show much of that on the stream. It's a cartoon, but it's still like we're not gonna harp too much on that. It's played for laughs. Now, what I do like though is this red ribbon, like it's not really a helicopter, like this craft.
Yeah, it's almost like a.
It looks like something out of like Contra.
Yeah, it's like it just hovers.
Yeah. And I actually really love like whenever we see Goku on the cloud facing off against flying vehicles. We see that in Dragon Ball Movie 1, Legend of Shenlong, aka Curse of the Blood Rubies, when they have that battle in that little castle area. And I love it, man. It really feels like something. It really feels like something out of like a game. Bulma consistently faster than bullets. Well, Goku definitely is. But yeah, I mean, but it's that comedy where it's like maybe he's not trying to kill her, just like shoot her legs or something. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But I do like here Goku using the Nyoibo and the power of it to break that damn craft in half. This feels very much like me that Toriyama was like, let's put an action scene in this shit, and that seems like why he did it,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Chapter 71, the turtle is spotted. So this is the reunion of Roshi and Bulma, which of course is going to give us lots of comedy, because they always play this up for laughs. In the meantime, now Red Ribbon Army is still searching and trying to figure out more about Goku, but it's just funny here how Black is now discovering that Bulma has made her own dragon radar. So somehow the Red Ribbon Army created their own dragon radar without using Bulma's technology. Do you find that interesting?
It is interesting, but it makes me wonder who exactly created it.
In the third Dragon Ball movie, it was Pilaf Gang, but that's not what it is here in this version at all.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I know that they suggested that Pilaf did it, but that really doesn't add up here. It'd be interesting if it was Garo, but
well, I mean, you could retcon any kind of technological advancement of the Red Ribbon Army to it being him, but it's never confirmed that it was. We know that he was a scientist in the Red Ribbon Army, but what we don't know is how deep into his research was he during this time period. Yes, he's in the character that was brought in later on, and it was a retcon. He didn't exist when Toriyama wrote this part of the story, but retroactive continuity, did he design all of the battle jackets and all of the weapons?
Yeah.
That's the question. All right, so moving on here. This is the scene that I was talking about. So Master Roshi uses Bulma's shrinking device to shrink himself and is going to use that to... I think it's hilarious. You see it there in the upper right corner. Roshi wants to get a nice, clean view of Bulma's kuka, so he's going to hide in the toilet being shrunk so that Bulma sits right on him. Bro, What do you think about this?
I mean, it's literally the definition of toilet humor.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, but I'm not really. All right. Look, people have their kinks. I'm not really into like urination fetishes, bro. I don't get turned on by a chick peeing.
Yeah, that's the part I don't get. Like, it's one thing to like be pervy or whatever, but to like straight up like climb into some chick's toilet, that's like a new level, bro. That's all.
Yes.
That's,
Hugo says there's a theory he also built Tao Pai Pai or rebuilt Tao Pai Pai. Yes, that is another theory. Yeah, and that could have been answered in the Z portion, the filler, but it never was. So
yeah.
I think that's one of the funniest Roshi gags, the fact that he did that.
Yeah.
All right. So Krillin and Lunch have arrived. Now we're starting to see the characters, because they were there originally because Krillin was still training with Roshi. We're seeing the characters now interacting, and this is going to eventually lead to Blue finding them. So this part of the story here is, again, if you grew up playing JRPGs, this part is where we really hit the adventure portion of Dragon Ball, because this feels like a quest in a JRPG. Bulma, Krillin, and Goku are going to try to find this Dragon Ball in the Pirate's Cave. And what do you think about the Pirate's Cave portion of this arc?
I definitely think that it was, Toriyama kind of just trying to look for something to do at the time to like build up to the rest of the Red Ribbon Army. But it does, I mean, it's an enjoyable section of the arc. It's definitely, you could almost consider it filler, to be honest. That's the only thing about it.
It's not filler good. It's in the manga, though.
Yeah, I know. But in terms of like how it affects the overall events, it's not that big to the overall section of the story. You know what I mean? It's just like you could easily just have Goku go there, summarize the entire thing with Blue and Goku's fight, and then have him leave, and it would be fine.
Yeah, that's true. I guess Toriyama, and there's notes about this that you can read up on, but I guess he was just trying to do something different because, we don't really see these characters going underwater and things like that. That we had not seen that prior to this, and
True.
we don't see it again. Like, we see some fights underwater throughout the series, like Goku fighting Frieza, Goku fighting Cooler. There's parts where they fight underwater, but like having an adventure where you're going into a cave underwater, dude, that just fucking screams Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know of at least 4 or 5 Final Fantasy games where you're underwater.
Yeah, and anybody who's got like an adventurous young spirit, as a kid, if you're a kid and you're like fantasizing about going on an adventure like that, that is a really cool like concept to grasp. So
the release date for Daima will be announced next month. We don't know the date. October, November, one of those two. So I'm actually curious to see what's airing on Fuji TV right now, because is Digimon 2020 still airing in that time slot? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I haven't been keeping track.
Me neither. I haven't kept track in like a year.
Yeah.
I was watching that Digimon show, but I just kind of lost interest. Chapter 72. So all this stuff where Goku and Bulma are underwater, it gives Toriyama a chance to draw hammerhead sharks and underwater sea life. The reason why I appreciate this is that it might not be as exciting as like Gohan versus Cell, but it's so unique to this part of the series. We don't see this again.
Yeah, you get to see Toriyama draw some sea life stuff. That's cool.
Yes, Justin, you are correct. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, we don't really see this ever again. Like,
Yeah,
it's so different.
Exactly what you're saying.
Now, I love this army of Red Ribbon fighter jets. And those jets, by the way, are basically modified variations of real World War I jets. Toriyama's basically taking real like planes and making them more sci-fi.
Yeah.
Look, and there's the Red Ribbon submarine. Yeah, and that's, again, we're seeing more vehicles. So like
Ness monster.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, bro? I think this was a missed opportunity. Can you imagine if Dragon Ball came out in America and was marketed here the way Turtles was, and stuff like that. Can you imagine? Here's what I'm getting to. Can you imagine getting to buy the Red Ribbon plane, getting to buy the Red Ribbon submarine as a play set, getting to buy the Red Ribbon base with little Goku figures, getting to buy all the different, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, I would have flipped out, dude. I would have flipped out. I would have begged my mother. I'd been like, please, for the love of God, get me that Red Ribbon submarine and the little Goku figures and the little Red Ribbon Army.
That would have been so awesome, and the pirate robot. We're gonna get to the pirate robot here in a minute, bro. I love this hippo-looking guy, bro. That's a great design. That hippo dude.
Yeah.
Great design. Yeah, so here we have the Red Ribbon submarine with the torpedoes. You imagine if that was a real toy, you push the button and
torpedo fire, hell yeah.
Bro, like awesome. If G.I. Joe did it, why can't Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It'd be really fun.
It would, I agree. Now, the thing about this part of the story is I kind of dealt with this too when I watched the anime. If you're claustrophobic, or if you have a fear of like drowning, this part might be difficult for you to read because they are underwater for most of it, and they do tease drowning. Now, this is another side quest. Speaking of side quests going on here, the A plot is Goku, Krillin, and Bulma trying to get the Dragon Ball. The B plot is this right here, which is the Red Ribbon Army arriving on Kame House with Roshi there.
Yeah, and then Roshi teaches them a lesson.
Yeah, chapter 73, the wrong turtle to mess with.
This is one of the coolest Roshi moments, I have to admit. Like, I love this. It's awesome.
Chapter 73, the wrong turtle to mess with. Yeah, Roshi tries to be nice, but
straight up wipes out Fat Hitler here.
Yeah, Fat Hitler, bro. And for the record, this guy, Fat Hitler, as Jordan calls him, he is legitimately based on a real Nazi that worked alongside the real Hitler. That is covered in the Red Ribbon Army Explained video. You need to watch that video, 30-minute long. I go into not only the backstory behind where Toriyama got the idea for the vehicles and for the character designs, but like who they're actually based off of.
Fatler's a funny name for him.
Wisco Dipper says, why isn't there an alternative American soundtrack in Dragon Ball like Z? Because Funimation wanted to save money. Because what happened was Bruce Faulconer got fired, and then they brought another guy in to do GT, and then they said, why are we even doing this? And they just used the original music. I wish they would have done that for Z as well, but people like the Faulconer music a lot. But Faulconer was not retained. Faulconer would have done Dragon Ball had he not tried to sue Funimation and had all that drama not went down.
Right.
Like, there's a very good chance. The thing people don't understand is as much as the fans love Faulconer's music, a lot of the American fans do, but as a person, Bruce Faulconer is very shady. I've had my own dealings with him, and Funimation, I've heard many, many stories from Funimation and people who have worked at Funimation when he was around, and he's not very well liked, bro. Like, as much as people love that music, he is not a well-liked man. So he would have stuck around if he was more well-liked. So these panels are awesome because Roshi doesn't even break a sweat. And anytime I see Roshi fight, it gets me excited. It's like Karate Kid 2 when you finally see Miyagi throw down. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Even in the first one, he throws down. But, I mean, in 2, he throws down more.
Yeah. It is cool to see Roshi actually, like, fight for real. Like,
yes,
awesome.
They're shooting at him. He grabs the bullets with his hands, of course, drops them. Classic Dragon Ball move. I'm going to grab the bullets and drop them.
This right here is interesting because this seems to suggest that Launch actually knows about the fact that when she sneezes, she transforms into somebody else, because she purposely takes advantage of the fact that the turtle is sticking out a fern there, so that way she could sneeze and turn into her.
Are you sure she purposely took advantage?
Look at her face. Look at her face.
I thought she was just scared.
She looks
You're
like
saying
she's like,
that you think she's trying to purposely get tickled.
That's what it seems to suggest. If you look at her face and the fact that the turtle is bringing the fern in, she is leaning into it to allow it to tickle her nose. So it does seem to suggest that she is aware of her transformation ability.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I never saw it as her knowing because, and if she does know, she doesn't remember because anytime
Right.
she snaps, but here's where things get weird. Like she'll meet people and she'll remember the people, but she won't remember her own actions, bro. Maybe
Yeah, I know.
Toriyama's trying to tell us something, bro, about, certain types of people on the planet not taking accountability.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so she does get tickled, becomes blonde lunch, we gotta look at this uppercut, dude. That uppercut, and look what it says here, bro. Can y'all read that word right there? Can y'all tell me what that word says? This is not in the original translation. That's a fan translation
I
doing
also
that,
think
bro.
it's funny that the
But it
guy
makes
that's
me
holding
laugh.
her up, the guy that's holding her up there looks so much like Senbei. I think that's
Yeah.
cool too.
Yes, he does. He does look like Senbei, bro. Motherfucker. But let me show y'all something else real quick, though. Let me show y'all something else real quick, bro. What's going on with this, bro? What's going on with what was Toriyama Sensei thinking?
He was thinking cake. That's what he was thinking.
Toriyama drew this way. Remember, you cannot blame anybody but Toriyama. This is his art. This is the purest Dragon Ball right here. Nobody from Toei. It's Toriyama drawing every panel, and he draws that. I don't know about you, man, but this is a great secondary plot. It takes a break from the Goku stuff. It's Goku, Bulma, Krillin have their story. Lunch, Roshi, and the Turtle have theirs.
Yep, it's awesome. It's really cool.
I like it. Okay, so we now cut back to the main story, which is they're in this little sort of what would you call like a cave? I guess it would be a cave, an underwater cave.
Yeah, we just call it a cave. Yeah.
Who did the English translation? I don't remember the guy's name. Here's the guy in the chat, Jordan. Where's Dragon Ball Super Chapter 104? If you are too stupid to like watch the video I did on it, bro, I'm not gonna answer. Like I think we get that question once a week, even though I already did a video on it like weeks ago. But whatever.
So if you'll notice here, a lot of the animal themed characters at the Red Ribbon Army are the ones that are hanging out with General Blue underwater are water themed animals. So like while ago,
like the hippo.
Yeah, a while ago we saw the hippo. Now he's hanging out with the walrus. If you look on that.
Oh, there is that. Yep, there's the walrus, bro.
Yep. So this must be like the I guess you would say like the Navy of the Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah, the aquatic department, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like that because you're seeing it's not just land and air, it's also sea.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But here is the part we're going to get to a controversial part coming up here. Blue is trying to find them, and then now we're going to get to the actual pirate cave episode, which again, this is total like adventure, great stuff. The anime does a lot of small changes around this part. Yeah, they do. Some of it, I feel, my opinion, that some of the anime stuff they added was funny, like the fortune teller stuff in West City, but I actually think the Red Ribbon Army Saga, just this arc itself, is better in the manga because it's easier to read.
Yeah.
It just zips through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 74, The Pirate's Trap. So, again, if you're claustrophobic, this might not be for you. Blue's hunting Goku and the rest of them. There's not much here except, a little bit of comedy and them kind of trying to figure out where they're going. Then they finally make it to this chamber. Now, again, this is very much Indiana Jones influence.
Yeah, this is straight up Indiana Jones right here, for sure.
And we saw a little bit of that in the Pilaf Castle, but we have like spears and like booby traps, and I've always been a fan of booby traps. One of the things I like about the World's Strongest Dragon Ball Z movie 2 is that we actually see the booby traps again, like when he's in Dr. Willow's like fortress and he's got those like balls with spikes on them, bro. Like,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, it's always cool to see Goku like go through trials like that. It shows off that he's like superhuman, in a way that's like other than fighting. Like it shows off his ability to really flex his abilities.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into like booby trap type of stuff. Like when I was a kid, there's a show that aired as a kid on HBO, and later on it was on Nickelodeon, called The Adventures of Tintin. It's based on a French, I think it's a French show based on a French comic strip. Have you ever read or watched Tintin?
No.
There's a movie that Spielberg did a few years ago. I want to say around 2012, something like that. That was okay, but Tintin was awesome, bro. And so Tintin was this like journalist who would explore. You'd like it. It was like Indiana Jones. He was a journalist who would go around trying to find treasures and like exploring catacombs, and he would get involved with the mafia. Like
I think I heard about the recent Steven Spielberg version. I think I know what you're talking about. Like,
the movie, it was supposed to be a trilogy, but they never made 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Because I remember the plan was Guillermo del Toro was going to do the second one, and Spielberg was going to do the first one. They were going to do 2 movies, and they never did the second one. And I think the movie did okay.
Yeah.
Blistering barnacles. Yeah, that was the captain, bro. Captain Haddock, bro. Captain Haddock was so in Tintin, it's like 3 main characters. It's Tintin, it's his dog Snowy, and it's Captain Haddock. And it really reminded me Robert Rodriguez too. Yeah, but Yash, that the sequel's been dude, that was supposed to come out years ago. Like the second Tintin movie was supposed to come out years ago, but the TV show, I used to watch it all the time. Jordan, this show was structured very differently. They had 4 to 5 episode story arcs. So for example, it would be Tintin in Tibet, part 1 of 4. And you would watch all 4 story arcs, and it'd be a mystery, and then finally it would end, or all 4 episodes. Then you'd go on to the next story arc. So it was like little mini story arcs cut up into 3, 4, 5-part episodes. And dude, I used to come home from school and catch it on at like 2:30, and I used to get pissed if I missed an episode, because if you missed an episode, bro, they do recap it, but you're still missing, like, because what's fun about it is trying to figure everything out.
The mystery, yeah.
You know what, bro? Maybe I'll put it on the server sometime, because I've got French. I've got the French DVDs, dude. That show would be a huge hit with people like Daisy and with Hubuk and guys like that, because the fact that he goes all over the planet, he goes to India, he goes into a pirate cave. Anyways, I'm talking about Tintin here and not Dragon Ball. Goku being the hero, overcoming the obstacles, Krillin having to do it too. This is all Indiana Jones stuff. The Red Ribbon Army not really knowing what they're doing. Attack them, kill them, and this
getting killed.
Yeah, okay, we gotta talk about this,
bro.
So
that's gruesome.
In the anime, this is the first time I can remember somebody actually dying. This is the first time I can remember somebody actually dying in the anime. But in the manga, I mean, look at the Walrus Man is gone, bro. We lost the Walrus Man.
Yep, he's gone. Yeah, I've always thought this was gruesome, bro.
I think there's more blood in the anime version too.
There is, yeah.
I think they add more blood. But yeah, I like it because it shows consequences, but it's also like super violent. Now, here we go. An underwater battleship. Like, you know what this reminds me of? I'm going to really go nostalgic. Does anybody, and this goes for you, Jordan, or anybody in the chat, do any of you remember playing Super Mario 64? Do you remember the level where you're supposed to go underwater and you come out the other side and there's Bowser's giant battleship there?
Yeah.
You have to get on the battleship to get like the coins. That's what this reminds me of. It's even got like the same colors.
Yeah, and he even comes through, like he goes underwater, comes through the cave, comes back up. Yeah. I could totally see it.
Dude, you know the water music for Mario 64, that's like some of the best music that Nintendo's ever done, bro. That dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun,
that
dun, dun.
synth heavy music, I love it. Yeah.
Christian says missing episodes. The time before the internet was different. Oh yeah, because with the internet, if you miss a show, it's either already on the streaming platform or you can get a torrent of it like right after, or, find different ways. It's out there.
Yeah.
So anyways, I like all this stuff. Chapter 75, Ambush in the Pirate's Cove. This chapter page right here, it's like perfect, bro. Like, this is a perfect piece of art. Look at that.
Yep. Yeah, and it's always cool to see Bulma in like her military outfits.
It's the pirate
her
robot, which looks like something right out of Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Blue, Krillin, Goku, Bulma. Devion Johnson says, I haven't played N64 in a minute. Me neither, but you can get well, I don't know if you can get it now, but Mario 3D All-Stars, I think that's out of print. Didn't they say that was going to be a limited print run for Switch?
Yeah, but I think they still have it.
Yeah, I got mine because I pre-ordered mine because I love those games. So here's the battle with the pirate robot. Again, it's something right out of Dragon Quest. Literally, it's like 3 different things.
It does kind of look like a xenomorph. It does.
It does look like a xenomorph, but it's also got like the assassin machine look from Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
One Stan Band says, I wish we would have got more pirate robots in Dragon Ball. Funny you should mention that. If you play a couple of the Dragon Ball games, you do fight like an army of them. Like the old Dragon Ball games on Nintendo.
Yeah, they pop up at an annoying rate in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot too.
Yes, they do. One of these days, I was thinking about doing this. I was thinking about doing like a stream on Geekdom 101 just for fun. I was going to call it the Ultimate Dragon Ball Video Game Showcase, where I was going to play a little bit of every Dragon Ball game ever made. Like it's going to have to be multiple streams, but I was going to play like a little bit of the first one on Nintendo, then the second one, then the third one, then the Z game, the second Z game. Some of them aren't that great, but it would be fun because I think a lot of people's first Dragon Ball game was Budokai. Others it was Tenkaichi. But I think people have to remember how far back it goes.
What my first Dragon Ball game was. I don't think I can remember.
You know what my first Dragon Ball game was?
What was it?
Dragon Ball Z Hyper Dimension. But you know what my second one was? Final Bout, because Final Bout was the only game that came out here.
You know what? I think Final Bout might actually be my first Dragon Ball game.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Yes. Final Bout was a lot of folks' first Dragon Ball game. I didn't mean to say hold on, but I did. Who was the guy that pointed out? Okay, right here. Diddly Squat. There's another cake on the panel. Are you talking about this cake right here, bro? Is that what we're talking about? Or is there something else? Someone's going to screenshot that and then go around saying that Geekdom was being a pervert on the entire stream, even though it was only like 0.5% of the stream.
Yeah.
You know how they are. So I like the pirate robot. There actually are figurines of the pirate robot that you can get. Underrated design. I remember when I first saw the pirate robot as a kid, not knowing what this was, I remember thinking, what the hell is that? Because I thought that's a more interesting design than a lot of the villains.
It's an outlandish design for Dragon Ball. It really is. But I mean, it fits in its own way, I guess. But yeah, it is an outlandish design.
What do you think about the concept of pirates having like a robot to protect their treasure, bro? That's another one of those like Indiana Jones type of situations. There's a lot of Indiana Jones in this arc.
Only in the Dragon Ball world do I see that as a possibility. If it was like an Indiana Jones movie, it would be like an old
curse?
knight. Like an old knight, like an old cursed knight.
Wasn't there a knight in Last Crusade? Right before they get to that's probably what popped in my head. So these panels pop in color. They're beautiful in color. The pirate robot electrocutes Goku. And again, it's hard to visualize. This is why I think watching the anime alongside the manga is a good thing. It's kind of hard for me to visualize this because I'm sorry, let me start that over. it's easy to visualize it because I've seen it in the anime. Like the place they're at, the room, I know what it looks like from the anime, you know?
Right.
But in the manga, it could be kind of hard to follow because you're seeing a big, tall, like building here. You're not even sure what that is. But if you see it in the anime, there's a panning shot, so you see the room.
Yeah. The anime staff did a great job with that.
Goku using the Janken Po. He got rock instead of paper. Remember, it's rock for a punch, paper's a chop, scissors is an eye poke. He does the rock, and he connects and actually manages to crack the skull of the pirate robot. And then it explodes because why not?
Yep.
Why the fuck not? We're right around the corner from the part I was talking about. Chapter 76, The Treasure. Look at that car, bro. Like, good stuff. Good stuff. It just reminds me of Toriyama. The swim out. This is the escape. The thing I find funny about General Blue is one of the stereotypes. So one of the stereotypes of that I've noticed a lot in the 80s, is that you'll have a very effeminate gay man, and then he'll take off his shirt and he's completely fucking jacked. General Blue is shredded, dude. Like this guy looks like he'll murder you with his bare hand. He's so
he's also a germaphobe too, apparently.
Well, that's also a
feminine thing, yeah.
It's a stereotype thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Stereotype. Justin Sullivan says, dude, who do you think will win in a fight to the death between Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye the Science Guy? I don't know.
I think Bill Nye has that dog in him in comparison. I think he's a little bit more of a psycho. So I'll give it to my boy Bill. I think Neil would like hesitate. I think Bill would just straight up go for the kill.
Neither one of them seem to be tough in any way.
I don't think he's tough, but he does seem to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, he just seems a little bit more off. He doesn't seem like, he just seems like he'd do some crazy shit in comparison to Neil deGrasse.
Yes, Star Blast. The pages are weird like that in this version. I have it. The reason why I have it set up to show 2 is so we can get through it faster.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's the only reason.
I agree, Mecha J. Nye, he seems like he's a little off the rocker a little bit.
He definitely I've seen him get mad, so there is that. I've never seen Neil deGrasse Tyson get mad.
Right.
All right, so another undersea creature here, a giant squid. I mean, this is just classic. We mentioned in the past about Toriyama watching a lot of black and white films when he was a kid, like Godzilla, like King Kong. But we've seen both of those in Dragon Ball. But another movie that is beloved as much as that one is a movie called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is based on the Jules Verne book. And there's been multiple versions of that story. There was one in the 80s that I thought was cool as fuck. And it's funny because these creatures right here, Star Blast was fighting several of them yesterday on Dragon Quest 3 because there's an octopus monster in Dragon Quest 3. Well, he's in a lot of games, but in 3, you fight him in the ocean and he literally takes 4 turns, bro. He hits you like, because he has 8 arms, so he'll smack you like 4 times. But yeah, have you ever seen the black and white 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yes, I love sea monster movies. I think they're awesome.
I think that's where this is inspired from, like directly from that.
Very likely, yeah.
And also, Godzilla, was it Hedorah? Godzilla fought like an undersea monster at one point.
Yeah.
I like this because Goku fires the Kamehameha right between his fucking eyes, bro. The octopus also appears in Dragon Quest 11. Yeah, I know. I said that. I said the octopus is in multiple games. He's also in 8. The octopus is a recurring monster in Dragon Quest, but his first appearance was in 3. I think. I'm pretty sure it was 3. So
yeah, somebody was pointing out the other day that there's never been an official like Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball crossover, like an official,
just art.
But they definitely do like reference each other, you know. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. Hugo says, I wonder why all the characters got so many changes to their outfits. and Goku was kept so consistent. I know he has several outfits, but his look certainly doesn't change like Bulma or Krillin. Yeah, I mean, well, in Dragon Ball Z, Krillin has that damn Roshi outfit on for most of the series. And the Buu Saga is where he puts on like the red shirt and or the yellow shirt, whatever. Bulma's the one that changes outfits a lot. I think some of that's just Toriyama experimenting with different designs, but also women do tend to be a lot more fashionable than men. I don't think Goku wears the same shirt every day, bro. I don't think he gives a fuck.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But to be fair, Goku does change outfits at least quite a few times in the original.
Like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. But they also later on would change the symbol on the gi instead.
Yeah.
So here's the treasure at long last. It's literally right out of Dragon Quest, bro. A treasure chest. You open it, there's gold, and then over here we have Blue, jacked as always. Now here is the part. So Bulma tries to use her sexuality to seduce Blue, and
well, she actually really likes him. Like she actually is like actually attracted to him.
Well, he's a very handsome and muscular man.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is he doesn't go for it, and then Bulma says this right here. You want to read? You want to read that for us?
No, you can read it.
You go ahead and read it, bro. You go ahead and read it.
Good.
No. I want you to read it, bro. I've read the whole time. You read it, bro.
I'm good.
Don't make me read it.
Try to get me to drop a slur. No, I'm good, bro.
But I want to comment on the slur for a minute. And I said this in one of my videos. This is an accurate translation. In the Japanese manga, Bulma refers to General Blue using the Japanese slur. Like, that's accurate to what was said.
It's old school Japanese Toriyama.
Yeah. You know? And well, it's not just him, but people have to understand, because I think a lot of folks look, listen. It is very disrespectful to use any kind of slur on somebody to their face. Like if I know a gay person, I get mad at them and I use that word, like that's disrespectful. It's like the N-word for a black person. But in the 80s, making fun of homosexuality was like a lot more. It was done a lot more in comedy. Nowadays, with this sort of more progressive society, both in Japan and America, it's not the same thing as it was. Right. But the idea of Blue being this big, strong guy who's also gay was played up for laughs. And it all comes down to what your sense of humor is. I believe that almost anything can be made into a joke except maybe death. And death even becomes a joke in Dragon Ball. And there are some cartoons where death is funny. Obviously, like, for example, in South Park, when Kenny dies, that's comedy. But it is what it is.
There's a difference between playing on stereotypes for comedic purposes and also believing them and being hateful towards people because you believe them. Those are two very different things. So,
Xavier with a super chat, he says, if I'm not mistaken, Bulma's mom also started hitting on Vegeta when she meets him for the first time in the end of the Namek Frieza arc. Yes, I think you're behind on the stream. We talked about that about 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, he's probably 30 minutes behind.
Mm-hmm. That's my guess. Or either that or the super chat took forever to process.
That could be it too. Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah. No, we addressed that. We addressed that she hits on Goku and Vegeta. So
yeah.
Mecha J says in the anime, Bulma went through 3 different underwears throughout this part of the arc. The fact that you know how much her underwear changed, I mean,
yeah, that's
it says something about you, bro. I don't know what it says, but it says something. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. So I know this is a super thing or whatever, but I just think this is interesting. So Goku eating the octopus, they actually make a reference to that at the very beginning of Super whenever Vegeta takes Trunks to the park.
Episode 2?
Yeah, and he ends up eating the same type of octopus. So.
Yes. Well, octopus, I'm not a huge fan of just eating octopus. I like calamari. I love. But there are some really good sushi, especially eel, that I fucking devour, bro.
Right. Yeah, it's probably way more popular than I give it
Um,
credit for.
Xavier says Bulma got rejected by Blue and Zarbon. Anyone else? Well, you know what they have in common, bro.
Yeah.
My dear Zarbon, would you like a burger to go with that shake? But master, the Doria's right there. Don't mind me. That was a fan dub from like 1999 that probably nobody remembers. It was a Newgrounds thing, and I haven't seen it in years. If anybody can find that, dude, would you like a burger to go with that shake?
I haven't seen that in forever. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't
Dude,
seen it
the
for
last time I
forever.
saw that had to be like 2001. This is like the early internet. You know what I'm saying? The Flash
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so chapter 77, Bright Blue Eyes, which this, and of course the blonde hair, blue eyes thing, that's all part of the Aryan race. Krillin versus Blue. What I find entertaining about this fight is that Krillin is fighting this man wearing swim trunks. I cannot fight wearing swim trunks because oftentimes I don't have underwear on underneath, and I can't have my trunks falling down and having everybody look at my winky. So I don't think it'd be comfortable to fight in with your underwear. But he does manage to knock this motherfucker down in the jaw. We need Heishin here to voice this, bro.
Yeah, that'd be
And
awesome.
nosebleed, blood, getting nosebleeds. The noble lord in me,
This is
nosebleed.
just like whenever Vegeta bleeds for the first time later on in Z. He does the exact same thing.
But the difference is that Blue is mad because his beautiful face has been damaged, and Vegeta's mad because he got hurt by a
Low class warrior. Yeah.
right. John Lean says, "Is the slur in the Viz manga? I have the read 3 volume books. No. Viz is censored, bro. And to be honest, I can't entirely blame them. I'm very against censorship, but when it comes to certain slurs, I kind of understand why. I mean, dude, they made Mr. Popo's lip smaller in the Viz.
Yeah.
So, despicable. I'm utterly despicable. What a great character.
Yeah.
Wacky character. Okay. Justin Sullivan says, the Frieza shake thing that you mentioned reminds me of that rumor of Barney the dinosaur saying fuck on live television. I actually didn't know about, because I don't think, when has Barney ever been live?
I think there was a few live shows, but it was very rare.
Was it like one of those like stage shows where they
yeah,
all
it was
come out?
staged. Yeah, it was on a stage. Yeah, I remember that very vaguely from my childhood.
Omnitrixer says, remember what the anime does to Blue after this? Very much so, bro. I've discussed it multiple times, including in that video, including with Sunny Straight. Well, what I loved about the Sunny Straight interview on my channel is that I straight up told Sunny, and I've told every voice actor this. I'm like, the problem with your dub is the script, right? Because I hate the dub script. But I told him, I said, but the one thing that I was kind of okay with you taking out was the General Blue pedo joke from later on. Like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Okay. Shamar Henderson, excuse me, says Stolas would be best friends to Zarbon and Blue. I don't know who Stolas. Who is that? Who is that?
I have no idea.
Might
I
be
was thinking
from
the same thing when he sent it. I was like, whoa.
It could be like a manga, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So General Blue putting the tissue up his nose. Now we see how much of a badass he is, because he's not just a jabroni. General Blue, outside of General Blue's the first villain that Goku's faced off against that actually has some powers. He's not like Tao. He's not like Piccolo. He's not like Tenshin Han, but he has some powers that Goku and the gang have to contend with. Besides the fact that he's not just only a martial artist, he actually has that hypnotism move, which is the blue eye technique.
Yeah, and it's cool, and it was needed for his character. It was about time they started giving characters unique powers like that.
She says, I'll have to use my special seduction plan here. Oh my, what a fine man you are. That's not gonna work. And then, oh, that's right, he's gay. And then he goes, stop doing such indecent things, you indecent woman. She's like, oh, that's right, this guy's gay and he hates women. But the truth is, I may look like a woman, but I'm actually a man. And then he says, there's no man with boobs that big. And then she runs away. Now,
what a failed attempt.
No. Here's the thing. Yes, it is a failed attempt. But here's the thing. These 4 panels right here, bro. I wonder. I have to figure out how to word this. I wonder what Toriyama would think about how things are nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think he would think too much about it. He seemed to be pretty. Accepting of how things have changed. I remember.
No, I agree, but I mean, like, it's this stuff right here, taken out of context, can be used to, like, you know, either attack Toriyama or to make it seem like he's a bigot, even though that wasn't back then what it is now.
The thing is like he's trying to be funny. Okay, go to any stand-up show, you're gonna hear stuff like this.
No, I agree, Jordan. I agree with you, dude. You know that humor to me is open, but there are people now, especially on the internet, who cannot take a joke, bro. You know this. The people just can't take a fucking joke. Everything's offensive. They wake up looking to be offended every morning because it's the emotion they resonate with the most because they're miserable. I don't think it's worth canceling a man. First of all, he's dead. So what the hell are you canceling? Second of all, even if he wasn't dead, it's not going to work. He doesn't care. Like, you know?
Yeah, and it's not meant to be taken seriously as anything. These are all cartoon characters.
It's not mean-spirited. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah. I agree. So Goku coming out of the water there, badass hero entrance. I like that what he was about to do right here. He was about to take the rock and drop it on Krillin's skull, bro. And you know what's funny is that may not have killed him. That may not have done it.
Yeah, it may not have. But they do kind of suggest that he's in danger. But
John Leanne, did you see the Sweet Baby Ink stuff when they called Toriyama racist? Yes, I did, and I chose not to comment on it because the best thing to do, first of all, anytime that a celebrity dies, you're always going to have a group of people that are going to celebrate the death of the celebrity. You would think Toriyama was one of the most beloved creators ever, and he was, and he still is. But no matter who you are, no matter how good of a person you are, there's going to be people who are going to be happy when you die. It is what it is. That's the society we built up now. And yes, I did see the Sweet Baby comments, and I chose not to say anything because I thought it was fucking stupid. And they always have to wait for the man to die to talk shit when you could have made a big deal out of it before. And they got attacked for it. I don't care. It's,
well,
you know what I mean? Like, that's on them.
The thing that's funny to me, and the thing that I think people tend to overlook about that situation, is it really is just marketing in a way to make money. They really are just trying to appeal to people who get easily offended for things to make money. Like, I don't even legit believe that they were actually offended.
Wait, are you talking about the Sweet Baby thing?
Yeah, I don't think that they were actually offended. I think it was
I think they look for reasons to get offended, bro.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't celebrate this man's work because he did something that I think is racist, 50 years ago. That or whatever, 40 years ago. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, let's just forget the rest of the message of the manga, which is to accept everybody,
Right. So, I love this. I love Goku, you bastard. This time I'm going to beat you up. And they're about to fight. And again, this is actually a martial arts fight because Blue does have some training. But Goku has more training. Tell me this shot right here of Goku punching Blue in the gut. Does that not look like, I agree, John Myers, does that not look like something right out of Punch Out?
It does, actually.
With the eyes getting big?
Yep.
No, dude, this is my favorite right here, bro.
Knee right to the back of the skull, bro.
But the fact that his neck stretched out like Splat, bro. He looks like Splat right here, bro, with the long-ass neck. and the big eyes, bro. Is Splat even watching?
Like his eyes are about to fall out. Yeah.
John Leone says this is why South Park is awesome. Yeah, South Park makes fun of everybody, bro. South Park does not care. South Park does not care, bro. They have no restrictions. Goku's beating his ass. And then he's confused about why this guy still wants to fight him. And this is where the hypnotism begins, where he does the bright eyes move to freeze Goku, to paralyze him. And that's what's going on here. And that's the cliffhanger for the week. Now, the Great Escape. What is up with this manga chapter art, bro? It's a bunch of Gokus everywhere like a sticker. What do you think about that?
I mean, it could be Toriyama referencing the clone technique, but I don't know.
I don't think so. They didn't use that here, did he?
Well, no, but it is a Journey to the West thing.
It reminds me of Where's Waldo, kind of.
Yeah, and it is just a photocopy reused over and over again. So he might have just been lazy that day,
He instead of drawing one big picture of Goku in the middle, he just drew a little one and just copy pasted it everywhere.
Yep.
That could be. So now that Blue has him paralyzed, he's got the advantage, and Goku can't do anything. Now, do you think that Goku, do you think something like this would actually work on Goku? Because I think he tries it again and it fails, but I don't remember. But this would not work on Goku when he got older.
Oh, no. Part of his training with Kami is increasing his reaction speed. So he would have reacted before Blue would have had the chance to do that to him. Even if the ability had a chance of working, his reaction speed is so much faster when he gets older that there's no way. Like
John Myers said what you said, bro. It's just Goku using after image to trick the readers. I don't know how you're tricking the reader if it's him, but yeah, I like it. I like that idea. So Blue creates this freaking single barrel shotgun, and I love the art here, bro. He's got it right pointed to Goku's face, dude. Wait, next chapter. It's just wild, bro. He's got the barrel right in Goku's face. But then along comes a rat. So if you want to, again, talk about the stereotype, this is the classic elephants are afraid of mice. General Blue is disgusted and afraid of rats. It's every gay stereotype put together. But I will say this about rats. I don't like being around rats either, bro. I'm not afraid of them, but yeah. Thank you, Christian number 1, for joining up as a member. I love this panel right here of Goku. I'm really going to pay you back for what you did. Of course, he's going to try and rock his ass for what happened before. Oh, and literally Goku does the Janken. And you see it right here, bro. Goku used scissors with the eye poke and then the rock with the punch. So you're getting the Janken rock penalty. Again, that's Goku's early techniques. Janken pull, which is rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, you could tell that Toriyama was a fan of the rock, paper, scissors move early in the series. Like, he liked it.
Okay. I like all this. Now they got to get the hell out of there because, as expected, the cave is collapsing. It reminds me of that.
Classic.
The cave is collapsing. This is no cave. What? Zzz, the Millennium Falcon, bro. Did you see that alternate ending thing that I posted in general for Empire Strikes Back?
No, I didn't. I haven't had time to do anything like that today.
I have watched it wasn't today. It was like last week. I have watched Empire Strikes Back 35. I'm sorry. Let me start over again. I have been watching Empire Strikes Back for 35 years, and I never knew there was an alternate ending until last week.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
It's like it was only in the first 3 weeks of the movie coming out in certain 70 millimeter showings. Lucas had all the film replaced with the final ending, but there is an alternate ending. It's the same ending, but there's alternate camera angles and alternate cuts. But it's the same like story. They're basically Lando's taking off and they want to go save Han and Vader's talking to Luke. That's all the same. But it's edited differently, and it actually has a different vibe. I never knew Never knew that even existed until last week.
No, that's interesting. That's cool. And I just recently watched that movie. So
I know you did. We told him with your son. But what's crazy is again, like, dude, only if you saw it in the first. The only reason we even know about this, bro, is because somebody recovered 70 millimeter film reels from back then. They were like, wait a minute, this is different. And then
I actually got to watch it on film reels whenever I got to watch it. It's awesome.
You mean the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't see it with the original film because Lucas got rid of it all. Lucas got rid of all that shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the only reason we even know about it.
Yeah.
Jinx and from Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know. All right, somebody was asking about that in the chat. All right, so they got to get the hell out of there. They're gonna go back to the craft. Is that it? I guess that's it.
That is it.
I actually didn't even realize that's where the ending happened.
Yep. That's where it ends off.
Yeah, we actually went through this faster. Sorry, what were you saying?
And then next we have the stuff where he goes and he visits Roshi and then Arale, Penguin Village, all that good stuff. So
yes, volume 7, we're gonna be discussing Arale and all that. And there you go. My bad, G. I was behind the stream. No, you don't have to apologize.
It's fine, bro.
Oh, because the Jinx thing. I don't even know what he's referring to. Did we talk about Jinx? Is it like the
might
Mr.
be
Popo?
The Popo thing?
The Popo thing.
Yeah. So
that was short of the stream. Well, we usually do 2 hours. We're about an hour and a half. Go ahead.
Light asked, "Is Daima connected to the history of Bibbidi and the creation of Majin Buu?" We don't know anything about Daima, bro. I mean, we know Bibbidi was shown Bobbidi was shown in the trailer.
Yeah, but those were shots from the Z portion. There was stuff that we had already seen.
Yeah, so we don't know. Like, we really don't know.
John Leone, where'd you get this version of the manga? On the internet. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I told people, if you want this version of the manga, email me and I'll send you a link to it. And some people did do that. I had like 3 emails from people saying, hey, can I get a copy of the manga? So I am giving the manga away. And the reason why I'm giving the manga away is because Shueisha gave me 40 copyright strikes last year and tried to kill my career. So I don't care.
Right.
I mean, I'm just being real. I don't give a shit. Like Shueisha is not a company that I want to give money to.
Nicholas Henry says Daima has to take place after superhero. We do not know.
We don't know. We don't know. And we're not talking about that here, bro. That's for like a regular stream. Like I discuss that all the time. You know what I mean? No, we do not know. If you, again, I want to repeat myself one more time. If you want to know where the show takes place, go to the Geekdom 101 channel right here. Type in when does Daima take place or Dragon Ball Daima timeline placement. I've already done a video about it, bro.
Yeah.
It's already been talked about. What is your email? My email can be found on the back side of my channel. Go to my channel, click on more, and it's there. Sleep says, not going to lie, I need to read the manga. That Jaken rock technique looked amazing. Are you talking about Janken Po, the rock, paper, scissors? He does that in the anime as well.
Yeah.
Early on in Dragon Ball, his 2 main techniques are the Janken Po, which is the punch, chop, eye poke trio move. It's more of a joke move. And
then the Kamehameha.
And the Kamehameha. Yeah, he doesn't learn anything else till later. I mean, that's not okay. No, he does learn the after image technique, the Zanzo Ken. He does learn stuff like that. But then later he learns Bukujutsu. He learns Kamehameha with the feet. He knows how to manipulate energy better. He learns Kaioken, then the Genki Dama. But I'm saying in early Dragon Ball, all he has is just the Kamehameha and the punch, and of course his regular martial arts abilities.
Yeah, and of course, the rock, paper, scissors technique would become obsolete later. So that's the reason you don't get to see it very often. But
I wouldn't mind if they brought it back. Do you think they'll bring that back in Daima? Because that's something they could actually do that.
Yeah, it's very likely.
They could legitimately do that, bro. Also, we're going to I thought about doing I thought about doing a technique guide on the John Ken poll, but probably not. However, somebody did ask me the other day. They're like, "Hey, you forgot to do the tri-beam." I didn't forget to do anything. That series is not over yet. I'm still creating more videos in that series. The Spirit Bomb technique guide is dropping later this year. The reason why I'm not uploading it is because right now there's no point in uploading anything until we have more stuff happening. Like right now, we talked about this, bro. I know Jordan's still uploading and some other guys are, but right now I'm just working on other things until Sparking Zero and Daima and Super come out. Then I'll get back to dropping videos. I made a video yesterday. I did a video yesterday on, and it's not going to go up for a while till later this year. It was on how strong is Supreme Kai. I'm probably going to drop that one in like October. So let me get the super chat here from Sleep. He says, I know he did in the anime, but in the manga, I think it looks better. Yeah, I mean, the colored manga, bro. The colored manga, it just, I like the black and white. I think Super is actually even better colored. I think it needs it, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
original Dragon Ball manga is fine in either way. But I like doing it in color here because, you know, y'all are here. So why not do it in color? I don't know.
Yeah, the color manga is really awesome. And the impact frames that he does for that particular fight are really good. Like the art particularly is really good.
Right. All right, well, we're going to head out then. A little bit of a shorter stream this week, but that's okay. Hopefully everything will work out. I didn't have any weather problems. I thought I was going to. We've hit the time period now where it's going to rain every day till September. So, you know, It is what it is. I was actually going to do a late night stream where I was going to watch funny Dragon Ball videos like if I can find that, would you like a burger to go with that shake? But I'll do that later in the week. So what's going on with your channel before we close out?
Well, a few things. So the opening track you guys heard that we opened up the stream with, I wrote
the
that.
Countdown Clock.
Yeah, I'll put a link to my music channel in the comment section of this video if you want to go check that out, because I actually am a musician and I do produce music too. But I've been doing a lot of fusion videos on my channel, and I think the next one I'm going to do is about Merge Zamasu. But my Vegito video, my Duality of Vegito video, just broke 20K. So people apparently really appreciated that one because that's like the biggest video on my channel. So if you're interested in that, go check it out.
The Duality of Vegito?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch it because a lot of people tend to get that one wrong. I'm not saying you would.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
it's just a giant Journey to the West video.
Also
really,
Go ahead.
It's just explaining the Majin Vegeta, like what Majin Vegeta represents and how that builds up to Vegito and all that good stuff. It's so not really talking about like Vegito's like character per se, like how he's characterized or whatever. It's basically just talking about how the events with like Majin Vegeta connect to Vegito and how similar it is to Journey to the West. But it's a very awesome video.
I also got to do a video about the Dragon Ball Z line that was changed, because that's one that there was a line in the original run of Dragon Ball Z that aired in the 90s that was never played again ever in any of the reruns. And that's only happened once in the entirety of the franchise. And I have proof, right? Like literally Nozawa, and it's a Vegito line. That's why I'm reminded of it. There's a line where Nozawa and Horikawa together as Vegito say something to Majin Buu, and in the re-releases, including all the home video versions, it's something else. They redubbed it, and that's for the Japanese dub. That's never happened. For the English one, it has, but for the Japanese, they've never gone back and redubbed the line. But I guess it was. I don't think it was offensive, but I can see why they would think it was. Hey. He basically called Boo like a dumb cripple, like a wheelchair-bound cripple or something like that. And that was cut out of all the reruns. Did you know about that?
Yeah, I think you told me about it, actually.
I may have told you about it like ages ago because I haven't talked about it.
You did.
That fucking video is still on my desktop, bro. It's still there.
But
no one's talking about it.
Somebody just asked me when the SSJ4 video is going to be made. Keep commenting and watching my videos about me making an SSJ4 video, and I'll do it eventually.
Hey, man, I got a lot of plans too. It's just I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I'm making videos now, and I'm stacking them in my computer because when Daima and Sparking Zero come out, everyone's gonna jump back and come back to the Dragon Ball fandom again. So I want to have content ready to put out. You know, it's just good strategy if you're a content creator. Like right now is not the time to make a Dragon Ball channel. I mean, no, you can now, but you're not going to have a big influx in eyeballs until Daima starts because it's going to be new and Super, of course, whenever that starts.
Yeah, I lucked out. I think the reason my Vegito and my Gogeta video did so well is because literally the day I put out my Gogeta video, the Sparking Zero trailer dropped with like Blue Gogeta, and I think that was part of the reason. Yeah, I think that was part of the reason I got a big spike in views. But my Vegito video, I think, just stood out on its own, and I'm happy about that.
I think it got 13K, right? The Gogeta one?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to head out then. Mecha, I haven't seen any of his GT one, so any of his GT stuff. So, we might come back next week, if not the week after, to do Volume 7. Where we're going to pick up with Goku and Arale. We're going through it quickly because the Red Ribbon Army is much easier, much easier in the manga. It's much faster. So, all right. Well, I'm out. Take care, Jordan. I guess we'll see them. Yeah, and I will be around Saturday at 1 o'clock on Twitch because we're about to hit the climax of the Piccolo arc, including one of my favorite scenes in the entire franchise. So I'm excited to watch that in high definition. Make sure you're there. I'm out. Have a good one. Take care. Wait, how the hell wrong button. Blah.